Hey guys, Mr. Yisley here. So we're on to lesson number 3 in chapter F, all about fractions. So you should be on the page of your notes that says lesson number 3, how to change an improper fraction into a mixed number. Well, as you were defining your vocabulary, you should have found that an improper fraction was a fraction where the numerator was larger than the denominator. So the top number was bigger than the bottom number. Now, a mixed number is a number where we have a whole number out in front, and then we have our regular fraction. So we're looking at how do we take these improper fractions and turn them into a mixed number. Well, here is our process for doing that. So 5-step process we should be going through in our head. First thing is we're going to divide the denominator. So we're going to take the denominator and we're going to divide it into the numerator. So we're going to divide the denominator into the numerator. It does not, all right, and I want to emphasize this, it does not have to go evenly. And the majority of the time it's not going to, or you wouldn't end up with a mixed number. So it does not have to go evenly, we just need to divide it in. We're going to write after that the whole number that we find that it does go in. So we're going to find that whole number that it does go in. We're going to write that out front, and that's going to be the large number in front. All right. So what we're talking about here is how many times did the denominator go into the numerator? And I apologize, I'm not sure why that blank got so small. So how many times did it go in? And again, it doesn't have to go in evenly. It just needs to go into the numerator. Once we've done that, we're going to write the remaining number. So whatever was left over when it didn't go evenly into it, we're going to write that remaining number in the numerator of the fraction next to that big whole number. So we're going to write the remaining number in the numerator, and then the denominator itself, it's going to stay the same. So the denominator is going to stay the same at that point, right? The last thing we have to do is we're going to check the fraction portion of this if it can be reduced. Right? Can it be reduced? So is there again a number that can divide evenly into both the numerator and the denominator? The whole number is not going to change. We're just checking to see can that fraction be simplified at all. All right? And if we need to, we'll reduce it as needed. So that's our process we need to be going through in our heads. All right, so as I do this, all right, I'm going to show you what we're looking at and how it should look in terms of figuring out our answers. So example A, I'm going to move my page up just a little bit. Example A says 59 over 8, or 59 eighths. All right, so when we're looking at this, the first thing we need to do is we need to take the denominator, the bottom number, and divide it into the numerator. So as I'm looking at this, I'm going, all right, here we go. We're going to divide this. So denominator goes on the outside. Inside the house goes the numerator. And I need to figure out how many times does it go in. Well, again, if you know your multiplication facts, this can be fairly quickly. I know that 8 times 7 is 56. So it goes in 7 times. 59 minus 6, or 59 minus 56 is 3. Now, I don't have any other numbers to pull down. We could turn it into a decimal, but that's not what we're trying to do. So all I needed to do was figure out how many times did it go in and what's remaining when we do that. So first number, I'm now going to write the whole number out front. So the number that's here on top, the 7, that's going to go out front here. So the number that's on top right here, that's going to go out front. That's the whole number of the mixed number. Then I need to take the remaining number, all right, and we're going to put that in the numerator. All right, so we're going to put that into the numerator. So the remaining number right here, remaining, okay, that's going to go in the numerator of the fraction next to it. And then the denominator, it's going to stay the same. So the denominator was 8, so it is going to stay the same. So right now I've got 7 and 3/8. So then the last thing I need to do is I just need to check the fraction part, 3 and 8. Do they have any factors greater than 1 that go into both? Well, the only factors of 3 are 1 and 3 does not go into 8. So nope, that fraction is reduced down. So our final and correct answer would be 7 and 3/8. 7 and 3/8. So that's the process we go through as we do these. So when I'm looking at this next one, example B, all right, I'm going to go through that same process. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my little house method out here to the side. I'm going to put the numerator inside the house and the denominator outside, because we're dividing the denominator into the numerator. That's step one. Well, how many times is 4 going to 15? Well, I know that 4 times 4 is 16, so I know then that it goes 3 times, because 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to subtract that. So I end up with a whole number. My whole number right here is 3. And I have a remaining number of 3 as well. Remember the remaining number, step 3, goes in the numerator of the fraction, and the denominator stays the same. My denominator here was 4, so my denominator is 4. And I've got 3 3/4. Now I just need to check and make sure the fraction is reduced. Well, again, 3 only has factors of 1 and 3. Neither of the, 1 is obviously not any bigger than 1, and 3 doesn't go evenly into 4, so that means 3 3/4 is my answer. All right, I encourage you now, try example C on your own. So pause the video and then check your answer with mine. All right, so let's go ahead and start this. First thing we need to do, divide the denominator into the numerator. So here we go. Inside the house goes the numerator. Outside the house goes the denominator. Well, I don't know any multiplication facts off the top of my head for 6 big enough to go into 77. So I'm just going to do my normal division. So 6 into 7, that goes 1 time. Subtract 6, I'm left with 1. Bring the 7 down. 6 goes into 17 2 times, so 6 times 2 is 12, and that leaves me with a remainder of 5. So it goes in 12 times, so there's my whole number, and then I've got a remainder, so my numerator is 5, and my denominator stays the same, which is 6. Last thing, check the fraction. Is 5 and 6, do they have a common factor other than 1? No, they do not, so 12 and 5/6 is my final answer. All right, well, hopefully that gives you what you need. If you have any additional questions on these, please let me know. But otherwise, you should have enough to go on to the next area of the playlist.